COVID-19 continues to surge across the country. Will we see another lockdown? That and more coming up on Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Emily Bennett. For a fourth straight day, the coronavirus claimed more than 1,000 lives in this country. Infections are also still surging. At the same time, millions face new economic uncertainty. Michael George has the latest.
The nightmare scenario underway now as Americans are in the grip of coronavirus, with no fewer than 30 states reporting surging deaths. Infections out of control in 3 of the biggest states. In Florida, cases now surpassing New York State, with more than 414,000 infected that we know of. At least 50 hospitals there now say they're out of ICU beds. Texas and California facing similar crises. It's so bad, observers now comparing them to 3 New Yorks, a state hit hard early on. To fight back, more than 150 scientists signed a letter calling for a new nationwide shutdown.
Let's put the brakes on a little bit. Let's get this right.
After pressure from President Trump, the CDC weakened its advice, calling to resume in-person school. And now this, a potential crisis in housing. Tens of millions of Americans struggling to pay their rent could now face eviction.
I'm going to be 60 next month. Where do we go?
Single mom Lisa Pradia and her daughter Ayani are being evicted from their Texas home.
What happens to these families that's got babies?
A federal ban that temporarily stopped landlords from evicting people expired overnight. Zach Newman of the COVID-19 Eviction Defense Project says without help, people will be out on the streets.
We have to keep people housed. And if we don't, we're going to be paying the cost for years to come.
Despite city budget cuts and the coronavirus, this pool in Brooklyn is one of 8 across New York City's 5 boroughs that just opened. Swimmers are being told to distance and wear masks unless they're in the water. In Brooklyn, Michael George, CBS News.
Governor Andy Beshear provided updated COVID-19 numbers this afternoon. The governor announced 836 new cases of COVID-19. That is the second highest number of cases reported in a single day. There are now 26,764 coronavirus cases here in Kentucky. There were 5 new deaths today. The death toll stands at 696. At least 7,421 Kentuckians have recovered from the virus, and 582,521 coronavirus tests have been performed here in Kentucky. The Bell County Health Department confirmed 7 new cases. Bell County now has 223. For more information on COVID-19 in Kentucky, you can go to our website, WYMT.com. It was an active day of protests in Louisville. 3 people sent to the hospital with gunshot wounds and 5 people arrested. Shelby Smithson has the latest from protesters and counter-protesters.
The action started early in downtown Louisville Saturday as the planned demonstration with members of an armed militia group known as NFAC erupted in gunfire. Louisville Metro Police say shots fired calls came in around 1 p.m. 3 members of the militia group were taken to the hospital with non-serious gunshot wounds. But according to Interim Police Chief Rob Schroeder, a gun discharged accidentally, hitting 3 victims. Hours after that incident, the leader of the NFAC organization spoke to a crowd of people, explaining the group was there to help get justice in Breonna Taylor's death, saying they would give officials 4 weeks to complete the investigation.
And if the powers to be don't come before you and announce arrest, now we caught them in a lie. And we don't like being lied to because y'all our family.
With the protesters comes a counter-protest, another armed militia group known as the 3 Percenters.
There's so many threats going in this town because of NFAC coming in, and I was like, well, they have their First and Second Amendment right to come in. We cannot stop them. It's their constitutional right. So we're just here to make sure everything remains calm.
While both groups have previously claimed they want all of the demonstrations to remain peaceful, the NFAC founder had harsher words Saturday.
Now y'all understand why we out here. I want y'all to know something. If something happens and y'all don't hit the ground, that's your fault. I'm giving you fair warning. My people will defend themselves if attacked.
Shelby Smithson, WKYT.
5 people were arrested during the protest in Louisville tonight, charged with disorderly conduct, obstructing of highway, and menacing. Some areas of downtown Louisville sustained damage last night. Eddie Merlot's on 4th Street Live was being boarded up after some windows and doors were shattered. It is unclear when the vandalism happened and if it was related to last night's protest. The restaurant was hit hard the first couple nights the protests began.
It's shameful and it's embarrassing. And to do this again, it shouldn't have never happened the first time, but it is. It's mindless, and it's just a sign of the times.
For now, Eddie Merlot's will close back up and is unsure when they will reopen.
Well, it was a warm and humid afternoon in the mountains with a few afternoon showers and storms bubbling up, especially in our southern zones, but all is quiet out there right now. Take a look at our camera out in Whitesburg. They're sitting at 70 this evening, but notice that dew point right up there at 69. It is muggy outside. That could help contribute to a little bit of patchy fog coming up a little bit later. We've cooled, I should say, into the upper 70s for the spots that did see rain today. 78 Jackson, 76 in Prestonsburg, but where they did see rain, much cooler. 72 in Somerset and 70 in Harlan and in Wise. You see those showers bubbling up earlier this afternoon, fell apart as we lost the sunshine out there. But notice one little shower trying to get going north of Emelina in Knott County. We'll have to keep an eye on that because more showers and storms possible as we head into tomorrow. I'll have details on that in a little bit. Emily?
Thank you, Evan. Now, when you go to a yard sale, you expect to spend money. Operation Share, which is a part of Restoration Ministries, held a community yard sale this morning in Laurel County. The organization offered clothes, shoes, and even household goods, all for free. The community yard sale was open to anyone, and people could take as much as they needed. The yard sales happen monthly.
We have probably around 1,500 to 2,000 people that come through our food ministry or our share ministry each week to meet the needs that they have. And again, these are essential needs, clothing, food, those kind of things. And again, it's just an opportunity for us to serve our community and be a part of that hub for our community and give back.
Restoration Ministries gives away meals on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to noon. Operation Share is available throughout the week if you are in need of clothing or household needs. Both ministries are located at 420 Lily School Road in Laurel County. The Marbone Volunteer Fire Department continues to give back to its community. The organization hosted the Guiding Light Food Pantry for the 3rd month in a row. After serving 205 families today, President and Fire Chief Robert Atkins could only describe it as a blessing.
We've been blessed. The Lord has really blessed us to be able to do what we've done, and you can see and hear what's going on, that the Lord has blessed Brother Tim and his church and the Guiding Light Food Pantry also, and we just all get a blessing from being here, you know.
Both Atkins and Guiding Light Pastor Tim Coleman say the fire department will continue to host the pantry until this pandemic subsides. Here in Knott County, there is some good news. The 4th annual Fire on the Mountain barbecue competition. It went on as scheduled despite the coronavirus, but not without some extra work. The Fire on the Mountain barbecue competition, hosted by the Kansas City Barbecue Society, where teams from across the country compete to see who is the best in this region. And some new guidelines giving this year's competition a new look, sanitizing their own boxes before handing it to the judges. Chris Ambergy, the Knott County Sportsplex director, said having this event was needed.
We're all excited that we did get to go on with this contest, but, because everybody's tired of, the COVID, but we still at the same time, we've got to take safety and precautions, and we've done a great job, and the teams have done a great job with that this year.
There were 30 teams that participated this year, an increasing number since last year. The 4 categories were chicken, ribs, pulled pork, and brisket. Also new this year was a dessert aspect. This afternoon, we learned legendary TV host Regis Philbin has died. Philbin's family tells CBS News he passed away last night from natural causes.
Regis Philbin was one of the most familiar entertainers on television. He's said to have logged more hours in front of the camera than anyone else in the history of the medium. In more recent years, Philbin was the first host of the very popular TV game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which tested contestants' knowledge of trivia.
And go to make it your final answer. I'm going to do that. You're right for 250.
For 23 years, he served as co-host on Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, and later Live with Regis and Kelly when Kelly Ripa replaced Kathy Lee Gifford. The Bronx, New York native was always prepared with a story, joke, and a smile. He appeared as a guest on countless other shows, including on CBS's Late Show after David Letterman announced his retirement.
But now you're leaving.
Yeah, that's right.
So where does that leave Regis?
I don't care.
Where am I going to go?
I don't know.
In a statement, Philbin's family said, "We thank his fans and admirers for their incredible support over his 60-year career and ask for privacy as we mourn his loss." Regis Philbin was 88 years old. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
Philbin would have turned 89 next month. Coming up on Mountain News Weekend Edition, find out how John Lewis is being honored in his hometown of Troy, Alabama today.
And a slight chance of a shower overnight, but even more storm chances return to the forecast tomorrow. I'll time those out coming up next.